So I'm visible. Everybody can hear me? Okay, love. So let's begin the session. Come into the sitting posture. Keep your back, neck straight, aligned. Gently close your eyes. Go into your asana. Chin parallel to the ground. Shoulder relaxed. Palm resting on the knee. And your tailbone align with your lower back, middle back, and neck. Observe your alignment and be comfortable within your posture. Now, take a deep, prolonged, slow inhalation, deep, prolonged, slow exhalation. Inhale and exhale with awareness from the belly. Now, take a deep, prolonged, slow inhalation for the 3-time Om. Inhale for the Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Feel the warmness. Join your both palm. Rub your palm. Place on your eyes. Feel the heat. Feet is slowly while blinking, looking at your palm. Gently open up your eyes with a great smile and say Om Shanti. Om Shanti. So, welcome to the meditation class. So, in previous session, we talked about the dharana, dhyana, and how you will get into the dhyana, the meditation. the meditative state by practicing the dharana along with the pratyahara. Right? These things we discussed about it. So pratyahara lead you towards dharana, to hold. Dharana means to hold. Pratyahara, withdrawal of the senses. Along with these things, you will reach to the meditative state. I talked about it. Meditation is what? Floating. Floating on the surface of the ocean or river. Have you seen the leaf, the single leaf of the tree, how it's float without any effort? It's floating, going with the flow of the water. That is the meditation. No struggle, not a single struggle you are putting, and that will you will get. It's not like, oh, now we are doing meditation and you will get. No, you will get by practicing the dharana, concentration. And then eventually, there's one point, one day, you will reach to the meditative state, effortless state. And this is the stage of the mind where you are not, it's become smooth. You are not get bored. You are not even having that, trouble for doing the concentration. If you are putting the effort, that would not be meditation. Okay, that is concentration. That is a dharana. So, and slowly, gradually, that lead you towards the samadhi. I talked about it. Samadhi is a union, and union is what? One, how the raindrops fused with the river water, and then you cannot separate the river drops and the raindrops. That is a union. That is a samadhi. Through the practice of the dhyana, the meditation, once you reach to the meditative state, you reach to the union later on, the highest stage. No separation. You become the cosmos, the whole cosmos. You become the cosmos. You are the part of. You're omnipresent because you are everywhere. Whole cosmos is within you, and you are in the cosmos. That that is the union. So many philosophy giving the name to that cosmos, the name, the cosmic energy, Brahma, Shiv, or God, Christ, Ishwar. These are the names. Supreme energy, supreme soul, and so many names are given to this cosmic energy. It's like a big ocean, and we are raindrops. So you merge with that cosmic energy when you're practicing the meditation. This is the higher goal. But why we need to do the meditation? The question arises here, why we need to? We are not looking for to go into the merging to some energy or something else. Right now, if we talked about it in modern times, we are not looking for the liberation. Are you looking for liberation? You will get. But right now, we are not looking for it. And we don't want it to be yogi or some other things, right? Right now, we have to be very practical. We are looking for the peace, little bit peace. Yes? All of you want a peace? Yes or no? So peace or the happiness which you're looking, everything, whatever you're doing to attain the happiness, to the peace. That's why you're doing hard work. So meditation, all these tools which we're gonna learn, it will give you the peace. And that's why this peace in modern world is more important than the ancient world. Now the modern generation is more miserable than the Asian generation. We have so many troubles, social troubles, Instagram trouble, Facebook trouble. Nobody's liking us. We have many trouble. then depression, anxiety attack, so many things. Public figure, right? Perfect figure, so many social things, so many problems. So we require more peace than the Asian generation because our problems are increasing day by day. We are having more trouble. If you see the study of the science, like especially the in medical line, you can see the today young generation is getting into the more depression. They are more having the psychosomatic problems. And those diseases which are not earlier were there. New diseases are forming. Why these diseases are coming to you? Especially the psychosomatic and mental disease, which project later on projecting on your body and give you the trouble. So to come out from those problems, you require, and even modern science is doing the research over that. And if you heard about it, placebo effect, Harvard University and Cambridge University, and even medical science did the research over this placebo effect. This placebo effect is has a wonderful effect. You have to just tell, you just need to tell the lie, and it's working wonderful. You're not giving the medicine, but you just tell them you are having this medicine. They secrete certain kind of hormones and they behave and they get the effect. They're healing themselves. Many surgery done accordingly, and they find out that placebo effect is very wonderful. Even in homeopathic medicine, have you heard about this? Another homeopathic medicine is mostly based on the placebo effect. So whatever you are giving the thought to the patient, he can heal himself. He get the idea, oh, now I'm getting the medicine with the best doctor. I'm healing. He's healing himself. It means your psycho, your mind is involved in your healing procedure. So today, modern time, when everything is become chaotic, physical level, mental level, we require more these kind of tools in order to come out from this disease, especially the psychosomatic disease and psychological disease. Even physical level, meditation work wonder. So we require in today times and also to get the peace. So meditation is we required. Research are still going on, but the cause of all the problem is the mind, and to control your mind, we have the tool, and that tool is called meditation or the concentration, dharana, dhyana. Most of the disease is formed through your mind, and to control it, there's no other way. You cannot control your mind with the pills, tranquil, or the morphine, or the drugs. You cannot control. You can suppress it, but you cannot control. To control it and to become the master of your body, you have to require this too. So you require it. It's not optional. Believe me, it's not optional. Maybe today you ignore it, but tomorrow you have to practice. So don't think meditation is the only, this is the only just, just a meditation. No, especially in the yoga, asana become prime and meditation is very last. People take, oh, it's a meditation, but it's the most important part of the yoga. This is the one part which change which completely transform your mind and make you the master of the mind. Right now, mind is master. Now, whatever you want to achieve, the mind is the enemy, biggest enemy to stop you. Oh, don't get up early in the morning, 4 o'clock. Or you wanted to study a lot before exam, right? You're studying, but your mind, oh, let's watch the movie, let's go for a party, let's have the fun. This is the enemy, no? If your mind is under your control, you can achieve whatever you want. You can be a great leader, you can be a king, you can be a queen, you can be whatever you want. You, you would be a great scientist, whatever you want. If mind is favor, working with you, but mind always work against with you. Always, everybody's. So to bring this mind under our control, right now, mind is master. You know the right diet, but are you capable of following the right food? The moment you see pastry, brownies, coffee, these are not nutrition food, right? You know it. But the moment you see, let's have it, few, your body doesn't require it. Your mind tells, oh, let's have it. What's gonna happen? Few I gonna eat just small bite. Diabetic patient, diabetic is not a disease, but people are dying. They choose the death because their mind is telling them. They cannot control their habit. They just need to skip the sugar. That's it. The simple sugar form, direct sugar, right? But they cannot control it. This case happened in my family. My maternal uncle, he get into that situation. Now he got blind. He become completely blind. His kidney completely 80% failed because he cannot control the habit of having the sweet. If he changed that habit, he would be living happily. But he chose the death. Oh, I'm gonna have my sweet. I cannot control. People are dying having the sweet. Can you imagine? That much your mind can, so much bring the misery to you. Cannot even imagine. Nobody can harm you how much your mind is harming you. So tool is started from today. So don't take for granted. This tool is very, very effective. From now onward, we're going to learn the meditation technique, the dharana technique, actually not meditation technique. It's lead you towards the meditation. So dharana technique, many technique, concentration technique, where you start controlling your mind. Okay. And in meditation, if you have any uh, expectation that after meditation you feel wow wonderful, don't have that much expectation. Meditation is not meant for giving you pleasure. People are using this tool to having the pleasure. I don't know why. This is for training the mind. It's not having the pleasure. For pleasure you have to go somewhere else. Okay. And so don't use this tool for having, yes, sometimes you feel wow, sometimes you feel okay, so pain, so pathetic. That's naturally. Sometimes you disturb. This is only the reaction of the mind. So keep in this thing in your mind. Meditation is not tool for having the pleasure, feeling wow, wonderful after completing it. This is the wrong expectation you are building. Now you are using the meditation, using as a tool, same thing for miserable, on poor, wow, wonderful. And when you don't feel wonderful, you stop doing the meditation. Same thing, which your day-to-day activity doing. You love something you don't love. And now you're using the yoga as it like that. Yoga is coming out from these things, all the two things, the two extremities, liking and disliking. So we are finding the midway. We're not gonna like it or neither gonna like it. disliking it or liking it. So we are finding the midway. Okay, through this tools, through these techniques, you would be finding walking on the midway, bringing the balance, not living into the extremity. Because more you seek the pleasure, more you are miserable. Because if you won't get pleasure, you get the sadness, right? Every time it's become addictive to you. Every time you want the more pleasure. So meditation, not for the pleasure. Okay. So take it out this thing. So many point you don't feel wow, wonderful, you feel pain and those things, that's okay. Don't worry about it. Okay. It's natural. You feel sleepy, get bored, mind doesn't want to do the meditation, want to come out. That's okay. That is normal reaction of the mind. Because you're trying to control the mind. So this is the normal reaction. Like how you're controlling the child, when you're small child, you're running after to, even to dress up him, right? To give the bath to the child. He's showing all the tantrums to you. So same way, the mind gonna show you all the tantrums. Oh, it's very boring. Leave it. Stop doing meditation. Or give you pain. Oh, I'm having the pain. Let's break the meditation. Don't do it. Or you get bored. You get anxiety. You feel claustrophobic. Something like this. It's just a reaction of the mind because mind knows after you following this procedure, you become slave. And nobody wanted to be a slave, no? Yes. And now, after 20, 30 years, you're changing, you're making the mind converting into the slave. So he become rebellious? No. He's becoming very rebellious. So prepare yourself. The mind would be very rebellious. So prepare yourself. It will give you the all showing all the tantrums. Okay. Sometimes you become very emotional. Sometimes you become very happy. Okay. So it's normal. It's just a reaction. Don't react. Okay. It's natural. Just try to not to sleep. Even sometime you feel sleepy. Sleep is also reaction of the mind. So these things you have to come out. I hope you understand. These things you're gonna face it while practicing meditation. Now, which posture we're gonna have to practice the meditation? Next. All the posture you can practice the meditation, doesn't matter. Sleep, standing posture, supine posture, prone posture, walking. But the best posture for doing the meditation, it's mentioned in the ancient text, yogic text, Hatha Yoga Pratipika, Grahan Samhita, Ashtanga, Patanjali Yoga Sutra. Okay, many texts, all the Hatha Yogi texts, or many yogs, even modern yogis, you have seen it, they only talked about the sitting posture. Sitting posture is the best posture for doing the meditation, any kind of sitting posture. Whatever, how many posture? So two posture is most important. Especially in the Hatha Yoga Pradipika, they said two posture are most important. One is Padmasana, lotus pose, and second is the Siddhasana. Okay, but third is which I'm not sitting in the Padmasana or Siddhasana. It's very difficult initial level. So Sukhasana, easy posture, cross your leg, keeping your back neck straight and cross your leg. But later on, if you can train yourself sitting into the Padmasana and Siddhasana. But these two posture, many yogis practice the meditation while sitting in the Padmasana and Siddhasana. But Sukhasana, yes. In even Sukhasana, you can practice the meditation. So three posture you are having. You can choose your favorite posture. Vajrasana also, you can practice it, but make sure if you have knee injury, knee problem, you cannot go for it. So easy posture, we're gonna go for it. But you can choose your sitting posture, any posture which you feel comfortable in. It has to be comfortable for meditation. Sitting posture is the ideal best posture for meditation. But yes, supine, standing, prone, you can also practice the meditation. But what meditation you can practice, I'll let you know. Okay, which technique you can implement. So after choosing the sitting posture, what is the importance of sitting? Because you cannot sleep first thing. With keeping your back neck straight, you cannot sleep. This is the very first thing. If you go into the supine and prone posture, you're gonna sleep and you would not be alert. So very much important. That's why you choose the sitting posture. Very difficult to sleep. I try my best. When I was in Vipassana, I was training myself to, because 4 o'clock they started the meditation, I trained myself to sit and sleep. But it's really difficult. So you can try also, but it's very difficult. So keeping your back and neck straight is very difficult to sleep. Okay, one thing. Second, the energy flow. This cross, the moment you're making the cross leg posture, like this, leg is cross leg. Yeah. The leg is crossed like this and back is aligned. The certain energy is going to work on this. First, your blood flow. You're not transferring your blood towards your leg. And then here the gravity law work differently. You know the law of the gravity? When you do the meditation in standing position, there is a high chance you fall. When you go into the certain level, there's a high chance you can fall. So you can break such. So standing position is not the best. To going into the deeper state level. In sitting posture, when you lock your leg, and so your blood flow does not go towards your leg, so you're not wasting the energy, and then blood remain to the lower abdominal part, and that's help you to make your mind more active. When you stand, your mind is less active. When you sit with the cross leg, your mind become more active. Because blood is not reaching towards the leg, it's not properly going towards it. And so blood is accumulated around your lower abdominal area and then come back easily. So heart naturally working. It's not putting so much pressure. Your body is relaxed. That's why standing for longer period of time, you cannot stand. Can you stand? If we compare to the sitting and standing, it would be tiring for you. The heart has to work more to pump the blood. So this is the science behind of it. When you sit, your heart is, come into the neutralized position and it has the less pressure to pump the blood. And then you save the energy. At same time, you sit into the comfortable, you relax. For longer period of time, you can go for the meditation. That's why many yogis say sitting posture is ideal for practice. Third, the energy, the pranic energy. You heard about pranic energy? Are you familiar of this word? Pranic energy. The pranic energy in pranayama, you're gonna heard about it, which running all the cosmos, which make you alive. That flowing down to the upward when you sit with the cross leg. From down to upward, it's gonna flow. And you create the cycle of the energy. So basically you create, when you choose the one kind of posture with the cross leg, then you create certain kind of energy circuit within you, and your energy move in the circle, like circle form, which cannot be possible in standing position. Difficult. Many yogi do when they don't have the chance, they also practice in the standing position. So that is why you require the sitting posture. Now you get the idea about it, why sitting posture is very much important. Okay, so choose your sitting posture and be comfortable. Now today we're going to learn the Buddhist meditation, very old traditional Buddhist, 2500 years old practice. And the name of that practice is Anapan. Anapan. And yes, before starting that meditation, make sure you use the blanket or the mat, which is not transferring your energy to the ground. Okay, that because when you do the meditation, you accumulate more energy. And immediately, if you step to the earth, it's gonna take your energy. So you have to use the blanket, and after immediately don't step into the floor. Okay, relax yourself and then release your asana very slowly, and then take the time to move your body. So these precautions you have to take for all kind of meditation. Okay, this is mandatory. And choose one place. Never ever change your place. If you're choosing the one place of your room or your area, that place you till the time when you are practicing the meditation, use that area, because the energy which you are creating through the practice, that energy remain in that area, and that gonna help you to go into the deeper level of the meditation practice. That's why you go to the temple, church, or other places, you feel more relaxed, because the outside, the energy, the vibration of the meditation is helping you to get peace, to make you relax. So once you choose your mat, your location where you're going to sit comfortably. Today we're going to practice the Anapan meditation. So I'm just introducing and Anapan, Anapan, Anapan. Okay, Anapan. This Anapan is very old method, very old method taught by the Lord Buddha. All of you are aware of the Lord Buddha. Lord Buddha, 2500 years ago, taught this method in order to control, in order to end the suffering of the mankind, and called Anapan. Anapan is, Ana means, this is the Pali word. Ana and Pan. Ana means inhale, Pana means exhale. So once you hear this Anapan, you might be understanding, oh, now we have to inhale and exhale. It's more like pranayam. No, it's not like pranayam. Anapan, inhale and exhale. You have to observe in pranayam, you make inhalation and exhalation voluntary. Like you're putting the effort in inhalation and exhalation. In Anapan, you have to observe the natural pure breath, the breath which is going in and coming out. So right now I'm talking to you, I'm inhaling and exhaling. That I have to observe. One, so it's like if I'm telling myself, inhale, exhale, that I shouldn't be practicing here. That is a part of the pranayam or pre-practice of the pranayam. Here, the moment you're listening to me And you are inhaling and exhaling. That is the involuntary action of the breath, which you have to observe. So the breath which is going with you always, when you're walking, you're talking, you're sleeping, but you're not aware of it because of your diaphragmic movement, right? Your breath is, you have the beautiful, organs, your lungs, your diaphragm, which is capable for do the two action, involuntary and voluntary action. In pranayam, we do the voluntary action. Here we have to observe the involuntary action. So natural, pure breath you have to observe in Anapan. This is a Buddhist meditation. Why I'm using the Buddhist? Because it's given by the Lord Buddha. So, but it's for everyone. You cannot convert your religion, okay, by practicing. Don't think about it. So you remain Hindu, you remain Christian, you remain whatever you are. This method is the beautiful method and most easiest method. Believe me, I practice on myself and transformed me completely. And more it gonna transform me. So, and very simple. You just need to observe the breath which is going in and coming out. The natural breath, the pure breath, where you are not putting effort. Not single effort you're putting in inhalation and exhalation. That's it. You don't require another tool for inhalation and exhalation. So from today, we're going to start 10 minutes. I hope you understand the technique. You have to just inhale and exhale. And you're not inhaling and exhaling. You're just observing it. How the breath going in and coming out, that's it. You shouldn't be doing anything. You just need to observe. That's it. The breath is already going in and coming out. You just need to pay attention towards it. That's it. Tomorrow we're going to talk about more about the Anapan, but let's do the practice and then you can understand better how the pratyahar we are practicing and how the dharana is involved. Yeah. Okay. So come into the sitting posture. Keep your back, neck straight, aligned, relax. Gently close your eyes and follow my instruction. Make sure your posture should be comfortable, chin parallel to the ground. So 5 and 10 minutes, we're gonna practice this wonderful technique we're gonna utilize. Anapan. So go into your asana, relax your body, observe the alignment. How's your back, your neck, your shoulder, palm resting on the knee, any position. You don't require to make the mudra, just rest your palm. Mudras are not important here right now, initial level. Just observe your alignment. Once you correct your alignment, be comfortable. Try to relax your body, your muscles. Now, eyes remain closed. Once you are comfortable, take the pledge while practicing this 5 minutes, only 5 minutes. I'm not gonna move my body. Movement gonna disturb your mind. So don't move any part of your body, only 5 minutes. Not your finger, not your shoulder, anything. Keep your body still and same time relax. Once you maintain the stillness, with comfortableness. Move your attention towards the natural pure breath which going in and coming out. Just observe the natural pure breath, the breath which is going in and coming out. Observe this natural pure breath. Just observe. Don't do anything. Don't make it any effort. Just observe this breath which is going in and coming out. Just observe like a watchman, like a gatekeeper, just watching. Breath is going in and coming out, going in and coming out. That's it. Consciously aware of each and every single breath. Just observe, just observe. If your mind wander here and there, do not fight with your mind, bringing back to the breath. Just accept my mind is wandering and come back to the breath. Observe each and every single breath. Every breath is so precious. Just observe, doing nothing. Just observe. Now, very slowly, take your own time. Take your own time to bring your awareness towards your body. Bhavetu sa mangalam bhavetu sa mangalam bhavetu sa mangalam sa 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 very slowly. Take your own time to release your asik, and while blinking, very slowly open up your eyes. Take your own time. Any doubt, any difficulty while practicing? Well, so tomorrow we're gonna more going to practice Dhanapan. There's stages. So meditation is not an end here. When you go for before sleep and when you're waking up, at least 15 to 20 minutes, even on the bed, you can just observe your natural breath. Whenever you get the time, sitting position or standing position or any position, you can practice it. More you do this practice, more you're able to go into the deeper level of this practice. I prepare you for tomorrow's session as well. Okay, so tomorrow we're gonna do more practice of Anapan, but in little bit next level. So prepare yourself and before going for sleep and when you're waking up, practice it. Okay, and during the day also, whenever you get time, practice it. 5, 10 minutes or 20 minutes, whatever time you have. Just you need to observe the breath. That's it. Nothing else. Okay. So Om Shanti. This is the only way. More you practice, more you're gonna learn. Okay. Bless you guys. Mangal Om Shanti.